We're back for Caravan of Garbage where we talk about some stuff, don't we?
You better believe we talk about some stuff.
And people leave a like.
You better believe they're going to leave a like.
Some people will think it's too early in the video to leave a like.
Idiots. And cowards.
I agree.
Believe in yourself. Smash that like button. You know what I mean?
Boom, bam,
Bam. You're
Alakazam.
You're a hero.
Yeah. so much of the Star Wars fandom,
on.
you probably know this, Mason, it's centered around, where's Ahsoka? You know what I mean?
Mostly it's that,
It's
right?
people screaming it.
She's a real Wally/Waldo of the Star Wars universe. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Thank you for doing the international references for that.
International conversion, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's right.
So when the Clone Wars came back, a lot of questions. Where's she
Where
at?
Ahsoka Tano?
And the Mandalorian. People screaming it all day.
Where Ahsoka Tano?
Exactly. Of course, with Star Wars Rebels, there was the inevitability.
James, I'll field this one. Where Ahsoka Tano?
Yeah, which is in this episode, or 2 episodes that we're looking at today.
For-
And previous ones from
For
the
sure.
series.
First of all, I would like to say, of all the Star Wars extended universe, expanded media, etc. crap that you have insisted that I watch with no context,
Yes.
I think I enjoyed this the most.
Really?
But speaking of Ahsoka Tano, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
What's going on with her head? Is that hair? Is it tentacles? Is it some sort of sack filled with pus?
I think
Does
it's-
Dr. Pimple Popper want to get in there and just
I
really
think
go to
it's
town on it?
Ben, don't put that in. I think it's part of her head. It's like Twi'leks or Twi'leks, whatever you want to call them.
Do you think that affects her center of gravity? Do you think it makes her a better Jedi or a worse
Probably
Jedi?
all brains. There's definitely an answer, and people will tell us.
Good.
But Ben will flash up the Wikipedia.
Nice.
So
We know.
we know.
We know.
These 2 episodes, Twilight of the Apprentice, they focus on going to Malachor. They're sent there from Yoda. That's like a Sith homeworld where they're loving doing some evil stuff.
They really
They're
are,
building
yeah.
some temples. They got some lightning doors, and you know what they're up to.
Not just temples, but temples/battle stations, which I think is
Yeah, exactly. That temple was actually one of Ralph McQuarrie's early ideas for the Yavin 4 temple.
Oh.
You can see a bit of that because it's almost got like that kind of hangar, bit at the bottom where you could fly an X-wing
Oh,
in.
yeah,
Or in
right.
this case, a TIE Advanced. I know my TIE fighters. Don't even worry about it, mate. TIE Interceptor, TIE Bomber, the one from Rebel Assault.
What the hell is even that?
It's
These
stealthy.
are also the names of Thai restaurants. You know how they love a pun? They love a pun name.
They certainly
I love
do,
going
don't
to.
they?
I love going to Thai Interceptor, getting some pad CU.
So I'm really kind of surprised that you liked this as much as you did because I feel like there's not a lot of context given for the series.
James, I figured it out. You've got your 3 fun amigos. You've got Ahsoka Tano.
Yep.
You've got Sugar Ray Soul Patch. You've got.
Kanan Jarrus.
Yep. You've got Light Side Lord Farquaad. Now that's supposed to be a kid, right? Not a small man.
As a kid.
Okay, I was a little bit confused, but I figured it out eventually. But then 3 amigos, and they're all working together.
Yeah.
And I think they're couple of Jedis and a Jedi Apprentice maybe, and they're on the run, I think.
Yeah. So they're basically it's the formative years of the rebellion.
Yeah, nice.
You know what I mean? It's coming together. It's probably at this point, 3 or 4 years off. A New Hope, maybe a bit less.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact timeline. Here it is. It's on the screen.
It is.
You can look
From
at
Wikipedia.
it. Yeah,
There
from
it is,
Wikipedia.
perfect.
Yeah. I thought also that you might come at this just being like, this is just running around a pyramid while bad guys helicopter in and out, which there is a lot of.
Yep, there sure is.
But I feel like the finale of this is very strong.
I think so too,
which
yeah.
we will get to.
And I think that was good. I feel like this, for me, these felt like proper Star Wars characters and not like weird caricatures or like whiny babies or...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Little Lord Farquaad was a whiny baby of sorts, but...
That's in the tradition of.
In the tradition of, exactly. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, yeah. Also, I think one of the reasons why people, generally like Rebels and Clone Wars is because they use lines like, there's always a bit of truth in legends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
right,
it's
yeah.
like, we see you fans of the franchise.
That's right.
Well,
Man, that's really the Force Unleashed. Like I've never seen it.
I've got a fun fact about that, actually.
Uh-huh.
So, Starkiller
Yes.
from that series of games was actually going to be one of the Inquisitors at one point. They were going to bring in Sam Witwer to reprise the role. He actually voices Darth Maul. in
Yeah.
this. He took over from Peter Seraphina, who voiced him in the movies. But
Yes, my master.
here's a question I had for you, though.
Go on.
So Darth Maul rolls up in this. There was kind of hints towards that maybe he was going to show up. It was probably in a trailer or whatever. But how long did it take you to twig that this was Darth Maul?
Instantly. Because it's not going to be nobody, is it?
Yeah.
And who's left?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not going to be Darth Vader.
Well, it is later.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's later, it's Vader, but yeah.
Who's it going to be? Count Dooku?
Oh, I wish, mate. I wish.
Right.
But also, you got to remember that this was a big deal at the time because he disappeared in the Clone Wars because it was abruptly cancelled. And there's like some comics and things that happened in between. And this is like his big reappearance.
Yeah, right.
And even though we've gotten Solo, which is in between this, where, you know, we also see that he's a big crime lord and whatever, we don't really know how he got here.
Yeah.
Like, he mentions that he crash landed here or whatever.
Probably a spaceship then.
Probably a spaceship there.
I mean, if I'm putting all the clues together, I'd say probably he crash landed on a spaceship.
A TIE fighter of sorts. Name a different TIE fighter.
Thai food truck.
It's got the wings on the side.
Yeah. But here's the twist. It sells tacos.
That's crazy.
Pretty crazy.
No wonder this guy was marooned here. He's an animal. He's an absolute monster. But I like also, and this was done intentionally because there's even some lines that parallel it. He Yoda's it. Like, he's like, I'm just a frail old man.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
he's, you know, and he's, but I'm going to teach you how to use the Force or whatever, you know, and that kind of thing.
I've just got a regular walking stick. Don't ignore the top half that looks a bit sus and it's got buttons and it's got a kind of crystalline rattle to it.
You hold it up to your ear and it hums even when it's off. But he's doing a voice, you know what I mean? He's doing like an old man voice. So this episode and others hint towards like he's going to take over as Ezra Bridges, like, master, you know what I mean? And he's going to go towards the dark side. And I think I was a little disappointed in this series, which I like on the whole, by the way, that never quite fully goes down that road. And I know it is a kid's show or whatever, but they never really kind of commit to that idea.
Yeah. I mean, there are some fairly grisly deaths in this,
this
episode. It cuts away, but you're like, that lady definitely got her head cut off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's like there's the fun helicopter death where the helicopter's not working.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, my helicopter! It's not working. Here's a question for you, though. I love throwing questions your way and saying, just think on your feet.
Okay.
These aren't math questions. It's going to be all right, though. Just so you
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah. So I know famously Steele Saunders from the Steele Wars podcast and YouTube channel.
That's right.
He doesn't like all the trick lightsabers, including these specifically.
Right.
What do you think about that? Like, do you want just your traditional, like it's just a blade and it does what it does?
Look, I think I like these in small doses.
Yeah.
I think if there was a scene where like 100 of them show up, Apocalypse Now style,
Sure.
I'd be against it, I think. But I guess, you know, it's a novelty and also most of them died, so they're going to give them up eventually.
I also think I look at it from the perspective of they're not like proper Sith. They need
a gimmick.
They need a gimmick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you really saw this in this, but Ezra's lightsaber's got a little...
It's got a gun,
It's got a
right?
little gun in it.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah. But they changed that because it gets smashed because Darth Vader's like...
Did he build that himself?
I think he did, yeah. I believe he did, yeah.
Also, I'd love to see what other aspects you can do with that helicopter lightsaber. Can you power a speedboat with it?
Can you
put it in the water? Blah, 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 blah.
I liked... I don't know whether this was intentional, but this is how I interpreted it. So to get through into the temple, because Darth Maul's just been waiting for somebody to open some doors with him.
Sure, yeah.
You got to go through, you got to do it together, work together, and open a series of doors.
Yes.
And there's a point where Ezra's like, how many fucking doors are there in this place? And I feel like that's a very kind of Sith thing to get annoyed to the point.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah.
Like it just breaks you down.
Yeah.
Like you think you're getting closer and closer, but it's like, God damn it. Is there 8 doors? Is there 100 doors?
Yeah, and if I were Darth Maul, I would have like really exacerbated that. I would have been like, yeah, the next door's definitely the last one. Oh, wait, there's another door. Well, I think I miscounted. This is definitely the last one. Oh, another door.
So there was also going to be in this series of episodes, there was going to be a Darth Maul, Darth Vader confrontation.
Yeah, right.
There's still room in the canon, even though both of those characters are dead, to make that happen. It happens in a comic where Darth Vader finds a clone of Darth Maul and he stabs himself through his chest to kill him or something.
Yeah, right.
Here's the Wikipedia on it. But
but you're right, because they're both former Palpatine apprentices, right?
There was even originally a line where Ahsoka, prior to this episode, she'd kind of figured out who he was, but she wanted kind of confirmation that it was Anakin.
Yeah, right.
She's like, who do you think this is? Or something like that. And he says, well, he's who I was supposed to be. So much of the Darth Maul character is informed by, I'm not supposed to be stranded on this planet. I'm not supposed to be like some weird like crime lord or whatever. He's not supposed to be doing that, so he's always kind of carrying that around with him.
He's got a real chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And no legs.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
They were originally going to have that fight, which I think also, I'm kind of glad they didn't because they're in different leagues. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though Vader's like very injured, but I mean, so is Maul. The no legs situation. He's got that bloody chip on his shoulder, am I right?
And Vader's got no legs and one arm? No arms.
No arms.
No arms, okay.
Yeah, he's all burnt up.
Chest infection.
He's
all burnt up.
He's a crisp boy. But God damn it, he comes down on the TIE Advanced.
Yeah.
That's a great looking shot.
Yeah. I did wonder though.
How's he controlling it?
How'd he set that up?
You know what I mean? The Force Mason.
Probably the Force.
What do you think he used?
Yeah.
The engine's probably not even on.
Yeah, maybe.
He's just floating it down, mate.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you've also posited the theory before or you wonder aloud. Can anybody fly in Star Wars? I mean, minus the lightsabers that spin quickly.
Yeah.
But why can't you just zip yourself
fly?
around?
If you got the Force, why can't you lift yourself? You can lift a man, chuck him off a cliff.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Lift yourself, chuck yourself off a cliff. You know what I mean?
It's a great question. Yeah. But that fight between Ahsoka and Vader, I think, is really great. You know, because, you know, obviously he trained her. She's more at his level than, like, anybody else in that room.
One criticism, I think the lightsabers could be wider.
Yeah, they're too thin, aren't
They're
they?
little thin little lightsabers, but
yeah.
besides that, maybe it's some sort of animation thing, like maybe if they're too wide, they get in the frame and you can't...
I think it's a design choice.
Oh, okay,
Because
well,
you see
they've made the wrong choice.
No, it's all right. I don't mind it. I also like how they got Matt Lanter back to voice Anakin, just like very briefly,
okay.
when you get the reveal of his face. Do you think there's actually some humanity there in him at that point?
I think...
Like he's a bit vulnerable and he's like, oh, boo, I hate this.
I think Anakin was always a bad guy and everybody made the wrong call. Except for all the Jedi Masters who were like, we should not train this kid at all. We should get rid of him.
We could just throw him off this really tall building we're in.
I think Obi-Wan made the wrong choice.
Well, Obi-Wan didn't make the wrong choice.
Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon made the wrong choice.
Qui-Gon made the wrong choice.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
There's a George Lucas and Dave Filoni kind of theory behind why Anakin went this way, and it ties into Duel of the Fates, which we hear in
the
this,
music.
right? The music, yeah, or the name of. Because that fight in itself is actually, it's the fight for Anakin's soul.
Oh.
See, the way that it works is, if Qui-Gon survives that fight,
yes,
he becomes, but you know...
He's a bad Jedi. He's bad at his job.
But he would have raised him properly, and he would have also wanted to do it.
Right.
And he's an actual proper father figure.
Okay.
Obi-Wan, though, is not a father figure. He's more like an older brother. And he's like, I don't really want to do this, but I said I'd do it, so I'm just going to have to do it.
Deadbeat dad.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like a party of five situation.
It's absolutely a party of five situation.
Here's the Wikipedia for Party of Five,
right,
to catch up to speed.
The original, not the reboot.
No.
We don't know nothing about the reboot. Know
nothing. I mean, here's the Wikipedia.
Here's the side-by-side comparisons. Here's an article that compares the two.
But... yeah, he's not supposed to be there. He also doesn't even really like him initially, because you know when
he's fundamentally unlikable.
Yeah, but you know when they first meet as a little kid, or when he first hears about him.
He's fundamentally unlikable.
No, but even before he meets him, like Qui-Gon calls it in on his Gillette razor, which he's using as an intercom, which is actually true. Here's the Wikipedia. But he's like, what's this terrible life form you've picked up this time? Because you know they just got Jar Jar. So and when he meets him, he's like, this is Anakin Skywalker. He's like, yeah, hi, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, fair enough. I don't like him either.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the universe would have been different if Darth Maul didn't kill him.
That is true,
That's the Duel of the Fates, Mason.
Oh my God, in a way, it's a real Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, even though I know people will argue with that theory, they're like, that's wrong. But look, George Lucas said it, and Dave Filoni said it, so I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
That's what they said, and I'm saying what they said.
Well, some people would say that it's actually the fans that determine the thing that you said, and it's the opposite of what you said, so you're wrong.
Boo! Most fan involvement in Star Wars ruins it. It makes it worse. It makes it much worse.
James is saying that to our live studio audience, which is...
and they don't like it.
They don't like it. They're booing. But he's booing back.
Boo! Why are you booing me? I'm right, meme. You know?
It's error. Yeah, we'll put it up.
Ben will put it up. Ben's putting so many stuff up. He's crushing it, yeah. Yeah, here's a question for you, though.
Go on.
I'm throwing questions your way. Do you like trivia, Mason?
Yes.
Do you like Star Wars trivia?
Not as much, but all right.
Well, this is our famous segment, Star Wars Trivia. We do it every week. Not
as good as regular trivia is what it's called.
That's right, but we do it every week.
That's right.
Star Wars or not. Darth Maul has an ear stud in the top of his ear, left ear. That was a Ray Park addition in The Phantom Menace, which carried over, hanging on to his youth.
Nice, yeah, cool.
You a big fan of the ear stud?
Not really, no.
Neither, yeah.
No.
I never noticed it before.
But to each their own, you know?
Exactly. You look like an idiot, Darth Maul. Like an idiot.
You're not 20 anymore, man. Come on. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know how age works in the Star Wars universe. Maybe you're 20.
Maybe you're younger.
Maybe you're younger than 20. Maybe you're 10 years old. I don't know.
The seventh sister is voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar, who is, of course, married to Freddie Prinze Jr., who voices Kanan Jarrus.
There you go. I'm learning a lot of new information in just that one sentence.
Exactly. Also, he gets blinded like that General Ram Kota from the Force Unleashed. Did you ever see that in that game? He's a blind Jedi.
No.
Yeah, it happens in that game and it happens in this.
In the show, yeah. And he puts that on that hockey mask that he had lying around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's the lightsaber crossguard in The Force Awakens, of course.
Now, this was
after.
This was after.
I mean, they're all designed at this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yes. Apparently, also, and this might not be true, but I'm chucking it in here. Maul and Ahsoka hadn't met on screen before this. So, like, canonically they had, because we've since seen the finale of...
She was like, it's you, Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly.
The old mucker, you know?
Because, you know, when we talked about it when they brought back the Clone Wars.
Here's trouble, she said.
Yeah, they have a big battle. But we hadn't seen that at this point.
Yeah, right.
So I think that's fun. And the last thing is...
Look what the bloody cat dragged in. It's bloody Darth Maul, isn't it?
The voice of the temple is Nika Futterman, who voices Asajj Ventress in the series as well. Emerged, she's bald, she's got 2 lightsabers, she's running about.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, ah! So I was doing a bunch of that.
Yeah,
I like
nice.
that character.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look, do you want to come back to this at some point, do some more Rebels episodes?
Yes.
Do them out of order, do them whenever?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Last episodes, first episode, somewhere in the middle.
Exactly.
Alternate episodes, an odd one and then another odd one.
I'd like to do the old Obi-Wan Kenobi comes back, fights Darth Maul episode.
Okay.
Maybe close to that Obi-Wan series if it ever comes out.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Good.
Anyways, this has been Caravan of Garbage. When does it happen, Mason?
During our lifetimes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
More specifically, every week, though.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
And
yeah.
we've also got a couple of banked.
I thought you were going to ask what days, and I'm like, I don't know what days.
Tuesday, Mason.
Okay, cool, great.
Yeah. But also, we've got a few banked in case one of us dies. So you can have 2 weeks of extra content if one of us dies. They're not our best episodes. That's why we haven't put them out. But don't you even worry about them, mate. They're on a hard drive somewhere. On my deathbed, I'll give it to my wife. Claire, make sure you give this to Ben to edit. Do you want to say goodbye to your kids? Yeah. But listen.
Ben's he's going to have some great ideas for this. It's going to be great stuff. Oh, my God.
So, of course, though, if you do want to see these episodes early, if you go to bigsandwich.co, you can sign up. There's a bonus podcast. There's a regular podcast, but it's got an ad-free feed, The Weekly Planet. We do that every week, don't we?
That's right. There's movie commentaries.
Movie commentaries. Check it out if you want. You obviously don't have to. But if you've got a suggestion for what you want us to watch or listen or do or play or read, leave it below.
That's right.
We'll look at it.
Experience.
Yeah, what could we experience?
Ice cream.
What kind of episode? Well, that would be one of the ones we put out after we die, I think.
Just us eating ice cream and being like, I wish this day could last forever. Oh no, the ice cream was poisoned. I'm glad we got this on camera.
Claire, I need you to take this hard drive to bed. Anyways, I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Have a great time doing whatever you're up to. Stay safe.
That's right. Grab that jammy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.